Hey, what's up, community leaders? It's Kyle coming to you to talk about our onboarding timeline. The onboarding timeline is basically the point from when someone says they want to lead a life group to them being a fully fledged life group leader in the game, doing it, having a life group on a regular basis. But before we talk about that timeline piece, I want you to know the why behind the what. For us, having a healthy onboarding conversation, it's all about building trust, building rapport between you as a community leader and your life group leader. So what we want is for you to feel this kind of sense of urgency. The fact is, God has called these individuals into leading life groups. We want to do whatever we can to get out of the way and let that leader run. Let them go do exactly what God's called them to do. So we just want to set you guys up as community leaders to know what the process is. Where do you come in? Where do we as staff come in? This video is all about getting the right information into your hands so that you know when you sit down to have an onboarding conversation, right where you sit in this timeline, it's right where you're supposed to be. So we're going to receive a volunteer interest form, maybe online or Sunday morning someone writes it on a communication card. We're going to do the best we can to go after those individuals within 48 hours to get some information like a volunteer application. Every leader gets a background check. We want to make sure that we get that information before we send them on to you. And again, harness that momentum. The minute you get some information from us, within 48 hours, you should be reaching out to that individual to help them take their next step. Pick a place and get going. It's time to have an onboarding conversation. So a lot of times that's in our lobbies here at the church, or maybe you want to do it at a coffee shop. But just remember the nature of these conversations. Sometimes you talk about some heavy stuff, and we want to be sensitive to that. So create an environment that's really conducive to those kinds of conversations. When you sit down, you've got a goal. It's building rapport, building trust. It's also to get the life group leader form. We know that the short link for that is below here, goto.lc/leader form. You're going to want to be sure and get that from that onboarding conversation. That's the person across the table from you filling that out while you're there to answer any questions that they have. And if possible, if they're ready, it's time to register their life group. So if they've made it through the leader form and they've got the details for what their life group looks like, go ahead and have them fill out the registration form. That's goto.lc/SBA register. Again, the link's below right here. And you have the opportunity to lead that person to getting their life group registered. So for you as a community leader, you've done it. That's your part of the onboarding timeline at the beginning. For us as staff, we're going to come around on the other side of that, having received the registration form. We're going to have the info for their info wall card so that they can begin recruiting from the lobby. We're going to put them in your workflow so that you're going to get those updates and be able to follow up with them once every 3 months. We're going to add them to our Life Group Leader Facebook page. We're going to send them a welcome card in the mail, because who doesn't love to get like some handwritten notes from time to time in this day and age. And lastly, they're going to get a video from our campus pastor to let them know how much it means for us as a church to have them in the game and creating community. So that's it, like beginning to end, that's the onboarding timeline. And then for you as a community leader, you've got the opportunity 2 weeks later to check in with them to see how things are going. If you didn't get that leader form, you want to get that like within a week. But follow up with folks. Let them know that you're still thinking about them, praying for them, that you care for them. A month later from that onboarding conversation, you're probably talking about, hey, you've got a date for your life group. How's it going? Have you guys met yet? And then maybe 6 weeks later, having a conversation with them about how you can continue to support them. But that's it for this video. We just want to give you that really high elevation view of what it looks like from beginning to end, from an attender to becoming a life group leader.